Hello and welcome back to the Sunless Skies. Let's see here. Just you're retired for Wilderman may open up new opportunities. Okay. You need 3. Okay. We'll take a inaugural. What an unpleasant ride. No matter how many sugar cubes you sacrifice to its appetite, your donkey insists on remaining truculent. Can't even make faces at it while it's not looking, not with its watchful halo of glittering insect eyes. Return to the paddock of nervous customers, intact and only moderately traumatized. Briefly without terror. It will not remain suitable for much longer. Okay. Trace your steps to the entrance port. Poor when you arrived and irrevocably different. Time to be elsewhere. The lanes. Pass through a sea of rolling mist. How languid they are, how soft and how gray. Of course, it's Albion. Everything's gray. I don't have a mining thing. St. Anthony's Lighthouse. This Clarence outcropping. Oh. So this place is a lot less developed. Rabbit's Run. Tip of this rock outcropping looks very naughty. I don't have any butchery abilities yet. Pretty ones. The Rapper Grade, Groom, Anticipation, Counter with no ability. Evening Ballroom. Endurance. Airport. Through the relieved sea land. Perhaps unwisely. The parlor. Ow. On approach, Verdulence looks like an opulent mansion caught partway through a genteel explosion. Each constituent of room accounted for but separate and out of place, each connected in a rough circle by narrow winding passages. Steep roofs are topped with shingle turrets and precarious towers. The elegantly disassembled country house perches on top of a soot-stained, windowless factory whose chimneys belch out gouts of smoke and fire. Enter the parlor. Windows in the parlor are shuttered, the light stained with pale yellows and burnishing pinks and bruised violets. Lit with the illusion of dawn, or perhaps dusk, you see a room cluttered with stiff-backed armchairs and decorative chases, set against savagely floral wallpaper in shades of burgundy, violet, and Brunswick green. Portrait of the Empress, unsmiling, hangs in an ornate gilt frame. Few visitors mill about, casting speculative glances at the exasperated butler while they pretend to examine the door. Well, let's start with a port report. Perduance is a jewel in the Empire's crown, where its favored sons and daughters are pampered, protected, and preserved. Visitor puffed up with important and embarrassingly eager to tell you how they have obtained an invitation to the Half-Light Mask. Some through patronage and long service, others through less celebritous means. All are desperate to spend a day in the company of the glittering inhabitants of Perduance, the brightest stars in Albion's firmament. For here, sons and daughters of Her Majesty, most important courtiers, reside in eternal youth and sophistication. All right. I have an invitation. I'll talk to the exasperated butler. Yes, and he demands. He leaps through a leather-covered logbook and makes clear he's in fact terribly busy. I guess he doesn't want to talk. We'll bid him goodbye and hand our invitation. Through the Empress, straight on till morning. The portrait of the Empress swings open and a succession of brightly dressed debutantes, sour-faced chaperones, and prim servants stumble into the parlor. Barely have a moment to rest their feet and take a sip of tea before a panel of wallpaper slides open. The dark maw of a sharply curving passage just visible in the light of dawn. Exasperated butler snatches the invitation from your hands. Remember, your invitation lasts only one day. It's a warning, but sounds a little wistful. He propels you forward to join the court in this procession. You emerge, a little tender, into the morning. Let's see here. Morning room is a grander version of the parlor, presided over by the Audron Duchess in her pink and purple silks. Dowagers of varying state lines and aplomb take tea and converse in low tones. Other debutantes reply to correspondence, writing notes in elegant script and affixing them with sealing wax. Meanwhile, chaperones give orders to servants and see to Prudence's household accounts. Light is flush yellow and autumnally ripe. Charm the servants, brushing here and there, their blur of efficiency and sobriety amidst Prudence's opulence, 25%. Charm the chaperones, they cluster around the debutantes, watching over them with habitually pinched expression. Try to win favor with both the servants and the debutantes. All right. Charm the debutantes, a gleaming group of young men, women, and others, each more elegantly dressed than the one before. Well, this one sounds like our best plan. And it still worked. Undeserved ire. This is undeserved. Chaperone suddenly loudly insists you were standing improperly close, apparently several feet and 7 inches. 7 of 8 layers of crinoline and wool between you and him is insufficient. You take 2 additional steps away, which renders conversation impossible, possibly for the best. Morning ends. Time to move on. Morning room is a grander version of pile. Move onwards. When the Dowager Duchess rings a bell, the conversation halts with practiced suddenness. Morning is over. Through the darkness, everyone arrays themselves in a procession according to their station. Dowager Duchess at the front, debutantes just behind, chaperones of visitors, and the servants bringing up the rear. There is much jostling for position within each group, according to the rules that you cannot begin to fathom. You enter the narrow and twisting passage, stumbling in enveloping darkness, and as debutantes giggle and shout. With each step, the shrieks of hours being spun backwards resonate through your body, leaving you shaking and warm. You emerge, blinking into the dazzle of afternoon. Oh, they're taking my time away. Here, the curtains are pulled back with tasseled ropes, allowing the clockwork sun to spill in its stark gold in the dining room. The long table is set with rows of gleaming china dinner plates, patterned with delicate florals. Silver cutlery, polished to a high shine, gleams atop a pristine tablecloth. Servants pour endless glasses of watered wine or carry in the next stream of elaborate dishes. Chaperone pushes food around his plate while a loud debutante tells an interminable joke. You suspect Chaperone has heard it a great many times. Success! A useful friend. Chaperone soon considers you a fast friend. Deftly inserts you into a lively conversation between several debutantes. Also serves as a subtle signal to the servants, and therefore you are always served the finest cuts of meat. It's more or less like pork. Not many pigs were brought into the sky, of course, but let's call it pork. As long as it isn't long pork. Afternoon ends. Time to move on. Debutantes and servants favor. Afternoon. Here the curtains are pulled back with tasseled rope, allowing the clockwork sun to spill its stark gold in the dining room. Long table is set with rows of gleaming china dinner plates, patterned with delicate florals. Silver cutlery, polished with high shine, gleams top with pristine tablecloth. Servants pour endless glasses of watered wine or carry in the next stream of elaborate dishes. Move onward. Dowager Duchess gives a small nod. Entire company rises one. Twisting, turning. Passage opens behind the china cabinet, and the procession forms once more. Take a breath and step into the close, stifling darkness, trying not to fall behind as the passage contorts and coils. With each step, the shrieks of hours being stunned backwards resonates with your body, leaving you shaken and warm. Spot a figure masked in a featureless black, their face covered by a smooth oval of polished obsidian. Who are they? It's enormous relief spill out in the evening at the grand ballroom. Everyone finds their place without a murmur. Courtly life is resumed, almost as though the terrors you have just experienced never existed. Hanging from the grand ballroom ceiling is a vast ormu gaselier. Spider arms decked with cut crystal drops cast soft yellow brightness onto the masked dancers below as they whirl across the polished parquet floor. Music blends with the hum of genteel conversation and a stiff swish of starched crystallines. Half-light mask is in full swing. There's barely room to stand, much less move. Well, let's continue to assist the chaperones. Chaperones wear drab visions of debutantes masked, animal patterns, and shades of brown and gray. Prowl the ball, ensuring that no one is getting too friendly. Partial success. You happen nearby when one of the debutantes is caught beneath the table with a servant. Chaperones are berating him. Realize how mortified the lovers are to be caught in such déchalabile. Shrug off the outer layer and offer it to the servant. They have little enough as it is. At least they should retain their modesty. Servant wraps themselves in your garment. They're too mortified to thank, but another older servant gives you a grateful nod. Evening ends. Time to move on. And from the grand ballroom ceiling is a vast ormu gaselier. Oh, yeah, we already said that. Full swing. Barely. Music stops. Somewhere below, mechanical rumble can be heard as the hour loom begins spinning Perdulance's one perfect perpetual a day all over again. One of the blacked out ballroom windows opens to reveal the passage back to the parlor at dusk, or perhaps dawn. Keening of the hours as they are spun backwards make your legs weak and your heart pound. You feel unaccountably wearied. Spot a figure masked in a featureless back, face covered by a smooth oval polished curtain. Who are they? And in the parlor, through the portrait of the Empress, limp away, sore-footed from dancing and stumbling through the dark. Behind you, the members of the court of Perdulance chatter as they take tea, making ready to begin their day anew. For tonight, as every night thereafter, is the half-light mask. Somewhere below, Purged and Sour looms, labor reweaves on perfect day. Soon the sleepy debutants will begin their morning anew, but first, someone approaches. A servant tugs at your sleeve. You've endeared yourself to those who work below the stairs. Popularity. Servants discreetly share their admiration of your kindness and charm. Try not to let it get too much to your head. There's very little competition in the field of kindness to servants here. You leave richer in gossip and soothed by distraction of the half-light mask. 2 more Salan stewed gossip, and another 100 experience points. The butler's discretion. Selection of immaculate souls. Well, I'm too broke for that. So those must be the corridors I walk through. There we go. Scandal, steam, and soot. Much of your time in engine yards, watching locomotive built, repaired, and decommissioned. Well, these are the 2 things I've been building. Masterpiece. Do not let your education go to waste. You poured years of sleepless nights, setbacks, and research in one great work. They called you brilliant, eccentric, and obsessive. I said it was a waste of time. Said it was impossible. You proved them wrong. What are the first fruits of your labor? Rivaling of engineering. Revolutionary invention. Possibilities thrilling, yet to be realized by lesser minds. At least your peers appreciate your ingenuity. Okay. Scathing critique of the new astronomy, and concealed within 3 comprehensive erudite volumes, which are frequently stamped by the Ministry of Public Decency, is an encrypted but spirited call to revolution. This would give me more health, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Smoggy streets. Spend most of your youth in the hard end of London, where the gas lamps are scarce and the prospects beef. One sec. Alright, let's see here. That would get us both more of the 2 things that I've been going for. Turns to help, spend 10 minutes complaining about what it found. Go soar. Actually, as much as I'm enjoying this excursion, I should probably head back to London because I probably really need things like, you know, ruins stud the sky, meager remnants of a kingdom that preceded Albion. Presence of unraveling time makes Rat Brigade's fur spark with static. Oh, that's time. Ruins are arranged like a ring. All right. Should be able to get through here without getting mugged. Alright, more supplies is always good, because we were getting low on that. Both St. Dominic Station, sky bustles with engines. Soon you pull in the sliding, and the long-faced man in battered coat approaches your locomotive, asks for money or time. Stories unlocked because you have avails of 40 or more. So here what he has to say. Fiddles with the bent brim of his hat, his face solemn as a basset hound. Offer of work. His voice is nasal, his eyes gray. I'll not wish you a good day. You are a person of intelligence. The day is manifestly miserable. I myself am newly afflicted by the gout, which has made my morning a parade of wretchedness. No doubt you have your own misfortunes, into which I will not pry. Instead, let's move to happier suspect of business. You have come to my attention for the very reasons you avoid others, your subtlety and your cunning. My employer has work for you, provided work, but perilous and profoundly illegal. Should you be interested, seek me at Admiral Benbow's Inn here in London. That he takes his leave, tutting at thickness of the fog before he dons his crooked hat and vanishes in the crowd. Smuggling, eh? Well, that could be interesting. Have a good one, folks.